My bad. You told me and I acted like one of my kids. I didn't hear. Um, but so when we're here, we're looking at a chi-square test. And this chi-squares test has to do with different treatment options and are they effective? Like, do people get healed from COVID based off of these treatment options and based off of some of their conditions that are associated with their own person? And so we're looking at antibiotics, breathing treatments, and medications. And based on people's age, gender, if they have heart problems, diabetes, if they're on a good diet, if they have high blood pressure, infections, and to see if any of those play into how effective these treatment measures are. And so we're looking at that. And if we go over here to our FO minus FE, any value that's over 5 tells us what this is doing. And so when we look over here at gender, and we notice that, and we'll just say the gender's guys, that guys, if they're taking antibiotics, it actually is not good. It's actually a negative dependency. It actually makes them stay in the hospital longer for whatever reason, right? But the breathing treatments appear to be working on the males much better than the antibiotics are. Antibiotics, they're staying in the hospital longer. Breathing treatments, actually getting them out of the hospital much quicker. We're like, wow, that's an interesting piece of information. When we start looking over here at the breathing treatments, we notice that they're down that with the breathing treatments for people that have heart conditions. Once they get on those breathing treatments and they get on those respirators, we got problems. It's a negative dependency for them getting out of the hospital. People that have heart problems, once they get on those breathing treatments, it's not looking good. And then we look down here and it's telling us that people that get on breathing treatments and they have diabetes, that's also pretty negative. That doesn't necessarily look like it's having good outcomes because it's a negative number. So it's not helping. People that have a good diet, and we're noticing that even a good diet, when it comes to the breathing treatment, that really doesn't help either, right? So once you're on the breathing treatment, it looks like the only thing that's really effective here is that if you don't have an infection, if you don't have some type of infection, it looks like there's a positive dependency and you can get off, get out of the hospital a little bit early. But what the data is showing us right now is that with breathing treatments, there's a positive dependency for males for breathing treatment, but there's a negative dependency if you have heart conditions, a negative dependency if you have diabetes, a negative dependency or good diet doesn't even affect it. But the only other positive dependency here is that if you don't have an infection, all the rest, we got some problems. And over here, when we're looking at the people that are taking medication, it appears that the only one that the medication is really working for is the people that really have a good diet, a healthy diet. So perhaps people that are a little bit more healthier, but the medication kind of doing what we expect for gender, heart problems, diabetes, but the only one where it's a real plus, it looks like, is a good diet. That's where it's kind of being effective. So for writing this up, let's take a look at this. Okay, let's write this up to see what this is telling us. So if you're writing this up, if you're writing this up, what you would say is this: it was hypothesized that antibiotics breathing treatments and medications would all be equally effective when it came to treating COVID patients, as it was determined by the attributes of age, gender, heart, diabetes, good diet, blood pressure, infections. There is significant evidence to reject this hypothesis. And so when we're looking at that, the reason why I can reject it is I'm looking at my p-value, and that's extremely low. It is 1.1, but 19 zeros in front of that. So there's significant evidence to reject the null hypothesis. I am almost 100% confident that these different treatment options could affect people with diabetes. And some of them are negative and some of them are positive. We notice that when it comes to treating with antibiotics, that antibiotics has a negative outcome for males. Antibiotics also has, and is that good diet? Trying to get that one right there. So antibiotics has a good outcome for people that are actually have a healthy diet. But antibiotics, for whatever, has a negative outcome for people that actually have an infection. It's not curing it. When we look at breathing treatments, we find that breathing treatments seem to be pretty effective for males. But people that are doing breathing treatment, like if you have a heart condition, diabetes, even if you're on a good diet, all of those seem to have a negative effect for people that are on breathing treatments. But if you don't have an infection, the breathing treatment seems to be effective. So again, the breathing treatment is effective for males and people that don't have infections. But the breathing treatment is not effective for people that have heart conditions, diabetes, even if you're on a good diet. The breathing treatment is not effective for you. Medication appears to be only effective for people that have good diets. And that's how you write that up.